September 14th, 2021. I'm just putting ice on my extremities from walking on in Bayside today. The pressure gradient is off and it is extremely painful when you come back inside. So now I'm in Bayside Station, Bayside, New York 11361. Yesterday, there was a commercial that hit my television that normally I don't. That thing that John Cena does, the WWE or WWF that I know Jason was into and my son Daniel likes a lot. They have something around this area that they advertise called Raw, R-A-W. I think it's like their day. I've heard of, is it Let's Get Ready to Rumble. Is that Monday Night Football? I don't know. I don't really keep track of you all, but it doesn't advertise in my, on my TV. Whatever brand of television I've had, the commercials do not hit my demographic. So, I forgot about, but I heard of a Stone Cold Steve Austin. Actually, I threw his name in the ring, Austin, for Benjamin before Benjamin became Benjamin. I also threw in the name Griffin. And Garrett. Those were my three names, but then I settled on Benjamin because there was a Jewish guy named Benjamin that I had a personality of a little old guy that I just absolutely fell in love with. Respectful gentleman in the office, and he had the same birthday as me, but he was born, I think, in the 20s or 30s, and so I named my first son after him. Anywho, so that happened. So there's a Stone Cold, and then, again, I didn't really follow the sport of, or sports period, because I'm just, Linda and Lou aren't into them, but again, if you open their refrigerator, they don't have wine, and they don't have beer. They have a couple bottles of seltzer, because I like the carbonic acid to spice up the water, and they got a Brita. And maybe some juice, cranberry juice. That's about all you're getting. So totally different set of circumstances from your normal, typical branding around here. That would make it like a unicorn, like technically in the forest of life, like that you didn't think existed, but they do. So now in metrics that get followed in algorithms and markets and whatnot. Okay, so I know Stone Cold Steve Austin's important. I know John Cena's important. I know there used to be, before the two of them, there was the Hulk, and he was the first for Long Island. But that's about it. Then there's something Randy, Ryder, Piper. But I don't think that that's a good idea, because that goes back to something with the Slim Jim. And that sounds like stealing something, but because that's what the cops use to break into cars. They're allowed to use it, but then the public uses it and they get in trouble. Whatever. Hot wiring a planet's what this feels like. Then there's, on The View. Today's September 14th, 2021. I don't know what went on yesterday. There was some big she thing. On the 13th, I think, I found out about something called a VMA Hey, Lynn? Yeah? What was that show last night that went on that Whoopi Goldberg was in? Yeah, what was she talking about today on The View? She was at the Met Gala. Met Gala. And where does that take place? New York City. Manhattan? Yeah, I think it's Manhattan. All right. It's either Manhattan or California. Linda has no idea, neither do I. So it's the M-E-T Gala, G-A-L-A. Whoopi Goldberg showed a photo of what she was wearing. It looked like hula hoops with tooling in it to make it look like an African violet, is what I would say. I mean, I said shower curtains, but that actually druidically goes back to a story that they were talking today about two kids that their mom passed away and the casket was open. They were dancing and filming it, that they were dancing in front of the casket, I guess to have a conversation starter about is it right or is it not right, whatever. So that happened. At Universal, this entire thing is incredibly important, this whole story. But Whoopi Goldberg's mother said to Whoopi and whatever else Whoopi has inside of family members that she wanted her body to be put inside of a microwave or something. I don't know. That's about as much as I could gather for truth on reporting. But that goes back to in Whoopi Goldberg's mother's time, the public knew something about this magical miracle white microwave that dehydrated meat products and cooked them really, really fast. But it wasn't supposed to be sold to the public in some like mass push to raise money. It was to scare the hell out of the people about that's what's going on at planetary level with the extraterrestrials and the aliens, trying to tell the people you don't want to go in these actions and make it color outside the lines, because what you're doing is you're making your person on the pavement turn into the piece of meat that's in the box that's getting dehydrated in order to convection cook from the inside out, and you're going to have a really sick population in the future. But here we are in the 20th century. I was delivered in the 19th century, decade 7, year 8. Alexander owns the lexicon of century 20, year 5. I own the Rubicon leading into the lexicon and all of its components of century 19, decade 7, year 8, because I have to get some form of semblance to get out of this grape crushing in by dehydration and quantum processing into a collapsing star with me in it. I don't, like, right now my breathing apparatus is not, I'm not able to inflate my lung balloons like I should. The muscles are not being struck in timing. They're not being, through electrolytes, they're not processing enough to carry the electric I need on the super neurological highway to catch a full breath, and almost like the body is shutting down, but by several light, because the actual clean, precise rubrics, Rubrix, was stolen and touched, which apparated me into a Rubicon from Rubrix, which is what we need to return to. And while I was in the Rubicon, in a multifaceted and complex process, the moronic idiosyncrasy of humanity pulled into a century 20 lexicon. So now it's a Rubicon into a lexicon that needs to get back to rubrics. So Whoopi Goldberg is an incredibly important story. I never even heard of this Met or this Gala. Never heard of the Barclay Theater. I've heard of the VMAs, I just never have been invited. I've never met anybody who's ever gone or been invited. Or if they have, they haven't talked about it. Let me think about it. So that was on The View. And today is September 14th, 2021. Star 1978, star 8378, Nicole Cataruza. Trying to think of the other important features. I think that's it for right now.